Hello and welcome into the Sports Tree Studio, ladies and gentlemen, for this week's edition of Third and Long for the Week 9 NFL Sunday slate. I'm Connor Rowntree. The format of the show, we're going to run through every single game on the Sunday slate, starting with the 1 p.m. time slot Eastern time and ending with Sunday Night Football. We're up over 20 units of profit on the season, so make sure you head over to sportstree.ca and check out our Week 8 betting model today. We have a couple plays with over a 70% win probability for Thursday Night Football, and we have some great looks on Sunday, and we're going to jump into it right now with an over between the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, 51.5 points, that's a lot to ask, but this Falcons team, they've served up 30 burgers in 3 out of their last 4 contests, and Kirk Cousins has looked like a stud. He threw for 276 yards last week with 4 touchdown passes, and now he takes on a Cowboys defense that surrenders the second most points per game in the NFL and has the worst red zone defense in all of football. And a matchup that we really want to look at through the air is the tight end spot. Kyle Pitts, he had over 90 yards and a pair of touchdowns last week, and George Kittle just shredded this Cowboys defense. So don't be surprised if we look towards some Kyle Pitts props, and I encourage you to do the same. One other guy that we have to talk about on this Falcons offense, obviously Bijan Robinson. He's having a solid year, and now he's facing a Cowboys defense that gave up over 220 yards on 6.2 yards a pop last week. So, my point is, yeah, you should probably be taking the over in this game. Keeping things in the NFC South, it's the New Orleans Saints visiting the Carolina Panthers, and this is one of the 2 toilet bowls of the week. 3 combined wins entering Week 9. That ain't it. That ain't it. These are the 2 worst defenses literally in the NFL, ranking 1-2, so I just don't care. There's no point in betting this game. I guess you could lean towards an under because neither offense could be trusted, but I literally just told you that these 2 defenses rank bottom 2 in the NFL. Stay away spot. Don't waste your time betting this game. Don't waste your time watching this game. Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. The Bengals have to win this football game. Joe Burrow said it earlier this week. He thinks they can get to 10 wins. They can't lose anymore. That's it. They can only afford 2 more losses on the season in order to accomplish that feat. So, here's the game plan for the Bengals. Go in and throw the ball all over this Raiders team because that has been a recipe for success. And Joe Burrow's completing over 70% of his passes on the season. Look out for the Bengals to make a statement in this one. And remember, last time these 2 teams played back in 2021, the Bengals trounced the Raiders 32-13. And this Raiders team is just in shambles. So give me the Bengals in that one. Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Now, this Giants team is feisty, but this Commanders team just finds ways to win football games, whether it's a hold, whether it's a Hail Mary and a hold, whether it's just a bullshit call or a dumb play by a Bears cornerback. God, Tyreek Stevenson, I hate you. The point is the Commanders find ways to win football games. They should be able to go into New York and take care of business. However, that spread is a little cheeky. We'll have to run it through the model, but obviously the 3rd-ranked offense, the 2nd-ranked rushing offense in the league, you would think that the Commanders have more than enough firepower to subdue this Giants team. The Patriots and the Titans. Now, that is toilet bowl number 2. Another 2 teams that enter this week with 3 combined wins. Well, the other toilet bowl we touched on between the Panthers and the Saints features the 2 worst defenses in the league. This game features the 2 worst offenses. Don't bet it. Ignore it. The Chicago Bears visit the Arizona Cardinals, and my, oh my, if I told you the Arizona Cardinals would lead the NFC West entering Week 9, you would lock me up in Arkham with Walking Phoenix and throw away the key. However, they won in Miami last week as 5-point underdogs, and that pulled them to 500 on the season. Kyler Murray, when he's on, he looks like a stud out there. He's a little gamer, literally. The Bears, their offense didn't look good last week. I don't really know what to think of them. I think they should be able to go out and win this football game. Their defense is dominant. They held Jaden Daniels to just 1 touchdown. Mind you, it was that Hail Mary touchdown where there were 3 holding penalties that went uncalled, and one of their defenders was literally out to lunch. I like the Bears to get right against the Cardinals, especially with underdog money. The Denver Broncos versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, let me tell you a story about a guy named Bo Nix. He enters Week 9 after the best game of his career. He extended plays, utilized his athleticism, and threw a couple of darts en route to 284 yards and 3 tutties. This October, Nix has simply been undeniable. He's completed 67% of his passes for 870 yards with 7 touchdowns to just 1 pick. He's also added 149 yards and a pair of touchdowns with his legs. Look, if this Baltimore Ravens defense just made Jameis Winston look like an all-pro last week, I like this. I like the confident Bo Nix with a good coach and Sean Payton to come in with a game plan that they can exploit this literal league worst passing defense for the Baltimore Ravens. And while Lamar Jackson looks to be in MVP form this season, he did struggle against the blitz from the Browns last week, and this Denver Broncos team actually has the highest blitz rate and the second most sacks in the NFL. Now that will open up room and lanes for him to scramble. However, remember the fact that Denver, their passing defense is a wet blanket. They surrendered just 4.7 yards per attempt, which leads the NFL. 9.5 points, that is a huge ask. Remember, this Broncos team is 6-2 against the spread on the season. In contrast, the Ravens are just 2-11-1 against the spread in their last 14 games when favored by 7 points or more. After an 0-2 start, the Broncos have won 5 out of their last 6 games straight up. This is a good football team that is being extremely undervalued by the markets. Look out for this Broncos team, especially with 9.5 points in hand. The Jacksonville Jaguars visit the Philadelphia Eagles, and you have to think the Philadelphia Eagles will be able to win this football game. A.J. Brown is healthy. Jalen Hurts is rolling. He scored 3 touchdowns himself last week. I just think that the Eagles have found their form. They're clicking. Saquon Barkley looks like just an absolute stud. He's back in rookie year form, and I don't trust this Jaguars team. They could be without Brian Thomas. Christian Kirk is done for the year, and Gabe Davis is also banged up. So outside of Evan Ingram, who is Trevor Lawrence going to throw the ball to? I mean, the other team, he has a tendency of doing that. So I really don't trust the Jaguars in this spot. This is just a little shaky for me. I don't trust the Eagles yet. It feels like a trap, but I just don't see how the Eagles lose this game either. The Detroit Lions visit the Green Bay Packers in an NFC North shootout. Now, this Lions team, they average 33.4 points per game and lead the NFL in doing so. The Green Bay Packers, they're not far behind. They sit 6th in the league, averaging 27 points per game. So before we jump all over the over like I want to, we have to be cognizant of the fact that Jordan Love left last week's game. Malik Willis just simply isn't as effective as Jordan Love is under center, completing passes, stretching the field, and progressing through his reads. So you just have to be cognizant of that number. If Jordan Love is healthy and they say that that groin is okay and he's good to play, I like the over in this one. But you just have to keep your ear to the ground before that NFC North shootout. The Seattle Seahawks take on the Los Angeles Rams, and you have to think that the Seahawks should be able to win this one at home, but again, this division is just such a mess. San Francisco is a mess. They're dealing with injuries. Somehow, some way, it's the Arizona Cardinals leading this division. So I don't know. I don't know about the NFC West anymore. I don't want to bet on it. I don't want to talk about it. As a matter of fact, we're moving on. Sunday night football. It's the Colts. It's the Vikings. Now, we've already ripped apart Anthony Richardson enough on this show. He's obviously only 22 years old, but you can't quit on your team. He did exactly that. He completed 2 out of 15 passes in the first half last week. One of those incompletions was actually an interception from his own end zone. Then he proceeds to quit on his team. Buddy, you're lucky they don't quit on you. They're going back to Joe Flacco in this one, but I just think the Vikings are going to be too much. I think this is a big spot for Aaron Jones to show out. And obviously, you got to take the Vikings at home in this one. For all of our best bets, make sure you head over to sportstree.ca and sign up today. Remember, if you upgrade your subscription, you upgrade your chances in winning. Folks, I'm Connor Rowntree. Enjoy the football.